The best Bible verse that I've ever heard for mental health is, "You gotta lose your life for my sake, and whoever will do so will gain their life, but whoever will try to preserve their life will lose it." This literally means everything for recovery from mental health issues, because it's always the same thing. The disorders always lie to you, and they always tell you that if you follow their rules, you will preserve your life, or whatever is the dearest to you at the moment. But in reality, it's the exact opposite, because the more you follow, let's say, social anxiety rules and you avoid others, the more you actually lose your life in the long term. Although, in the short term, it may look like you're actually preserving your life because you're not facing situations where you could be rejected, where you could feel anxious in front of others, where you could feel stupid. But it's all a trick. So if you truly want to preserve your life, you gotta take your cross, aka your suffering, and you gotta just withstand it and not try to get rid of it. So in OCD, for example, OCD may tell you that, hey, you've just contaminated your entire flat and your family is going to die. Now, if you follow OCD's logic, you will try to preserve your life by trying to clean everything, by trying to just be like, oh, let's put everything into black bags and let's just buy new clothes all together. And by that, yes, you will feel like you're saving your life in the moment, but in the long run, you will lose your life. And I've seen people with this exact OCD lose their families, get divorced, their children not talking to them anymore. So you will lose your life if you try to preserve it in mental health. Now, this is the most important quote ever, because I almost believe that if you do not try to preserve your life, if you're ready to lose it, if you live in your second best version, as Stephen Phillipson called it, who's a famous OCD psychologist, you will be rewarded. You will be so rewarded that you won't even believe it. Because as I said, every mental health disorder is a form of a lie. Anorexia, oh, I will help you to be the tiniest version possible. And that's the most important thing in the world, to be really thin. OCD, I will help you to get 100% certainty about whatever you're afraid of. Others will never have that certainty, but you will have it thanks to the rituals that you will do that I will give you. Borderline personality disorder. Well, life can get really hard for others, but if it gets super hard for you, you can always kill yourself. Every form of a mental health disorder seemingly gives you a superpower, some easy way out by which you can, in the short term, preserve your life. But it's literally like signing your soul to the devil that we know from old fairy tale stories. You will preserve your life for that moment, but you will lose it in the end. Now, if you do what Jesus says, which is, hey, take your cross and rebuke your life right now. You know, if you lose your life for my sake, for the cross, if you lose your life for my sake, then you will actually gain it. It's this paradoxical nature that you need to apply in mental health disorder recovery. Because if you don't, and you always try to preserve your life with its many beauties now and whatever you're currently really into, whatever's the most important thing for you now, and your disorder always tells you, hey, you're gonna lose this unless you follow my rules. If you follow them, you will lose all these things in the end. And this is the great paradox, you know, that you may lose it now. Those who lose their life now, those who have OCD episode, like me now, like I'm in an OCD episode right now, and I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna relieve myself from it. I'm not gonna do a compulsion. And it's always that paradox, because those who lose their life willingly right now, consciously, willingly, they're like, okay, I'm not gonna follow your rules, disorder. I'm not gonna follow your rituals. Take anything that you want away from me. Are you sure if you don't make extra steps now, you will get puffier face, you will get fat into your face, you will feel anxious with people, so that new relationship that you're just working on is gonna get lost, and you're gonna be so anxious you won't even be able to go on a date with him. Are you sure you really don't want to do some extra steps on your smartwatch and so you reduce your calories? Are you sure? Yeah, I'm sure, anorexia. I don't do any extra steps. Screw you. And then it really takes that relationship almost seemingly away from you, because you feel so anxious that your face is now puffy, which is what anorexia tells you, and it feels super real, and you will just be like, oh my god, I gotta walk more? Why didn't I walk more around the block before I went to this date? Now he will not like me. Now I'm so fat. You will seemingly lose your life, but you will gain it in the end. But why? Because disorders work in a way that they promise you the superpower, as I said, in the form of saving you from some horrible scenario. So like with borderline personality disorder, you're afraid that you won't be liked by others, so you will actually do what's called mirroring, and you will mirror these people and their gestures and their energy so that you match them, and then these people may be drawn into you. They may be like, oh, this person is so alike me. But by that you feed your BPD and your borderline personality disorder grows, and then it takes smallest amount of inattention from that person for you to flip over into anger and be like, oh my God, he hates me, he doesn't like me anymore. Oh my God, you start texting them, you start being super needy, and then you lose that person. So it's always that same paradox, and that's the battlefield that you play with mental health disorder and mental health in general. You gotta be ready to lose your life right now, in this moment, anything it is, no matter what it is, health, safety, relationships, whatever your disorder tells you, hey, I'm gonna give you a superpower that you never lose this in this moment, like this is gonna be unaffected if you only do my rituals, if you only do my compulsions, and you refuse to do that, it will feel like you're losing everything. You may be so anxious that you may not sleep or whatever, but in the long run, all these things are gonna be restored to you and more. It's just like in Job, in the Old Testament of the Bible, where Job chooses to sort of take his cross willingly, meaning he takes his suffering willingly. And everyone is like, hey, rebuke God and die. Because Job is like, basically, to make it simplified, he's in this situation, it's a super rich guy, but devil goes to God, and devil is like, hey, I'm gonna tempt this guy, and he's gonna rebuke you. He's gonna be like, screw God, basically, and that's gonna happen if I take everything away from him. And God's like, no, he's a super cool guy, he's always been with me, he's not gonna rebuke me, but you can test him. And basically, the story goes as follows. Job loses money, he loses his kids, he loses everything, and everyone then tells him, hey, just say, hey, you know what, God, I rebuke you, I don't like you anymore, and die, because that's the only thing left. Like, that's the only thing you can do. And this is what his wife always tells him, but he refuses to do so. He's super in a victim mode, he feels super bad, but he never rebukes God. Now, that is a clear thing here. Even if you feel horrible in the present moment because you are feeling like you're losing your life because you don't use the superpower button of your disorder, let's wash all my hands just to make sure nothing is really contaminated and my kids won't die. Let's make some extra steps and maybe throw up so that I make sure that I have less calories than is my maintenance level so that I know that I'm really losing fat. Whatever is that reset button that your disorder wants you to push, if you don't push it, which literally means if you do not rebuke God, which was like a way for Job in that story to relieve himself, to be like, oh, screw you, God. Oh, finally I feel some relief. Like the same relief that people feel when they are like, oh, this is shitty and this is not working and this is not good and this is bad. It provides them with relief. Job, what does he do? He doesn't push that relief button. He's like, I'm gonna withstand that. I'm not gonna push for that relief. And because of that, guess how the story ends. And these stories are symbolic. They show a great metaphor for what's going on in your mental health. And what happens is, because he doesn't choose to restore his life in the moment, in the present, right now, in the future, in the end of the story, spoiler alert, what God does is that he not only basically like gives everything back to Job that he had before, but he restores it sevenfold. He multiplies his blessings, his fortunes, his abundance. Everything that he had before is now given not only back, but made whole because it's so much multiplied that really his life is literally what Jesus said. If you try to preserve it, you will lose it. But if you lose it for my sake, you will gain life. And what does it mean to gain life? Well, we can see that in Job. He's everything's returned, everything's restored. No button of restoration had to be pushed. If you don't push that button, that seeming superpower, that really your villain, the villain of your life, your disorder is offering to you, your life will be restored and God will bestow His blessings on you. And there will be so many blessings, in fact, that you'll not even believe it. Like your life will turn around by 180 and something. So it will look even better than for people who never had a mental disorder to begin with. Guys, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please click on down there and leave me a comment down below. I'm really curious what you think of this video. And click on the subscribe button or on the like button. I would greatly appreciate it if you want to see more content like this. And see you guys later. And let me know what you think down below. Peace.